Sack Life Beat Depression is day 789, and I'm feeling fine. Coming at you live from Paradox Comics in North Arlington, New Jersey, for another round of somatic healing to wipe out depression. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here now. Anyone who's tuning in later, appreciate you guys and girls out there. Shout out to Shawnee Boy for being the first one in. Shout out to Gen X, Kenbro77, and Lisa the Luminary. Thank you guys and girls so much for being here and being a part of our social support system that we're building for one another as we show up each and every day and fight forwards towards better mental health. Shout out as well to Mad with Hats. Thank you guys and girls so much. As you guys know, and Master Checo. Everybody's piling in today. Thank you so much. As you guys know, we do a martial arts for mental health show. First mental health tool we talk about on every show is that powerful tool of gratitude. The more we use it, the easier it is to find those things to be grateful for and those silver linings in life. So gratitude today going out to everybody supporting the cause, everyone tuning in virtually, and also to Paradox Comics for allowing us this space to train, to share free tools, and to make a positive impact, hopefully, in each other's lives. So if you are in the North Arlington or Kearney, New Jersey area, please do stop by at 269 Ridge Road in North Arlington. Check out the comic shop and pick up a free sticker to raise awareness for Sack Life. We can help empower others that way. And also, if you're in the market for comics, toys, or collectibles, why not shop at a business that supports a good cause? So, that is my gratitude section today. That's about sums it up. Go ahead and think about what you're grateful for today. That'll help put you in that positive mindset as we move into the lesson. And second mental health tool we're going to talk about is the progress tracking tool. So keeping track of the number of days that you show up for you and accomplish your daily goal can have a cumulative effect on self-esteem, self-worth, and self-validation. So please do keep track of your progress. It's been 789 days of consecutive training for me, Sackman out here. Let me know how many days it's been for you that you have been crushing those goals in the face of anything that's trying to stop you. Please do keep track of it, and if you've got a number, share it with others, because that's one of the best ways that we can inspire progress in one another, right? We can be that change that we want to see around us. So please do continue showing up for you. Share that number if you got it, and that about covers that. I want to shout out as well, too. We got a couple more people popping in. Luca, all the way from Canada. My buddy Luca out there. And Alexander, thank you so much for being there. And Luca said, well, if there's a real zombie here, can I hi-ya it? Yes. If you see a real zombie, you are fully allowed to hi-ya that thing. You can use those tools we're picking up in here. But in other than that, we practice here to hit that bag or hit the bob, right, that training dummy, or for shadow boxing purposes, we work with that visualized opponent, and we're training to get that physical release, that somatic release from stress and anxiety, not necessarily to punch somebody else in the face. Though if necessity calls for it, if you're in a dangerous situation and there's no other way out, there's absolutely no other option, then it's good to be prepared for those things we might run into out here in the world. So that being said, please do keep track, share that progress tool with others. If you got it, work with those tools that work for you. And we're going to get into today's lesson. Today's lesson, we're going to work with those fundamentals, the jab and the cross, but we're also going to work in that close range, in that pocket. So we're going to be slipping some attacks and kind of stepping into a nice close range position. And then we're going to work with some uppercuts from that close range pocket. So an uppercut's a really good tool when you're up close with that training dummy. Not so much for the bag. Uppercuts are pretty hard to work on a standard bag. But if you have a teardrop shaped bag, a round bag, or pill shaped bag, or I think that's it, a teardrop, one of those hydro bags, then those are really good for uppercuts too, and you can practice this on them as well. If you're working with a long bag, you can turn your uppercuts into body shots for now. It's a good way to get that physical release, but just be aware that it's not exactly the same technique. You will build that muscle, you will get that physical release, so it's still worth giving it a shot. Unintended. Other than that, we'll have our standard, the jab and cross, going down that center line. We're going to work with movement a little bit, stepping back, jab, cross, stepping forward into the jab, cross, and then stepping into that pocket, getting real close. Basically, you're putting your head against the bag here. We're going to create that forward pressure and get rid of those angles of attack that we could possibly be taking from an opponent. So when we get in close into the pocket, we're going to keep that guard up by the side of the head, right? That's going to keep ourselves protected from hooks. We don't have to worry so much about the front of the head because there's no room for those straight punches, but we do have to worry about uppercuts coming in, right? Because they could reach under and toss some uppercuts at us. So when we slip, we're gonna want to bring that elbow into the center line when we're slipping punches in there to deflect any incoming uppercuts. And from that pocket, we're gonna work on our uppercuts of our own. Like I said, if you're working with visualization at visualized target, follow along the way that we work with those uppercuts. If you're working with a heavy bag, a standard bag, long bag, then instead of tossing the uppercut from the pocket, it's better to just toss a body shot from the pocket because it's easy to skin knuckles on those long bags. So that's going to be it. Basics, fundamentals, jabs and cross, getting in the pocket, slipping a couple of shots, and then working some uppercuts from there. Working on keeping that defense tight and just dropping that arm in at the last second, tossing some uppercuts in there. So go ahead and visualize your target. Pop into Muay Thai stance. If you're not familiar with it, free stance guides are available on our main page at sacklifeofficial.com. Down at the bottom of the martial arts for mental health class section, you'll find a stance guide for all the classes that we do out here, so you can be fully prepared. And Luca asks, is there a zombie book here? There's a bunch of zombie books here. Come on out and find out. I know you're from Canada, so it's kind of a long trip. But if you're in the area, you can always check us out. Or if you have any special requests, we do ship. We sell online as well. So just let me know, man. We'll figure it out. That being said, shout out to Carmen. Thank you for supporting. That's my Aunt Carmen out there. I love you, Carmen. We're going to get these tunes going, this music fueling, and we're going to get into our standard rounds. 3 minutes, 3 rounds. 3 minutes each, 1 minute breaks in between to catch your breath. Drink some water. Make sure you're checking in on you and not pushing too hard. Shout out to Heather. Thank you so much for being here and for your support as well. Even if you're just stopping by to say hello or stopping by for a moment, I do appreciate that moment. So thank you for being here. Now let's get into it. Go ahead and pop in to Muay Thai stance. Get that guard high by the brow line. And let's get this thing going. Hopefully those tunes are coming in loud and clear. Some motivation from the metal beat today. And let's do it. Visualize that target. Square up those hips and shoulders. Get that guard high by the brow line. Close the fingers. Tuck the thumbs. Proper fist. Shout out to Table Chair. Appreciate your support. We're working from Muay Thai stance here. Tuck chin. Curl the hips. Roll the shoulders. Guard high. Get into your squared position. And start working forwards and backwards. Remember to move as a fighter. We want to move that foot whichever direction we're going in. If we're moving forwards, front foot steps first. And when we're moving backwards, back foot steps first. Same thing with lateral movement as well. If we move to the left or we move to the right, whichever direction we're traveling in, that foot moves first, the second foot follows. We never want to take a narrow stance. We want to keep those feet spread apart, nice and balanced, head on the center line. Tuck that chin for additional balance and step in for 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Shoot those punches straight down that center line, twisting through the body, rotating through those shoulders and hips, and turning those fists over so you land on the large 2 knuckles right down that straight center line. Chin tucked, and keep it moving. Breathe in the nose and out the mouth. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Remember, small step in on the number 1. It's a straight punch. And then rotate through the hips and shoulders, turning on the ball of that back foot for the number 2. And back to stance. Let's go. Fundamentals. 1, 2. Visualize that opponent. 1, 2. 2 strikes. 2 strikes, 2 breaths out the mouth. Inhaling through the nose along the way. Keep it going. Moderate that volume and intensity. And you can double up on these punches to match your skill level and give yourself a challenge for the day. Increase that volume. Let's go. 3 strikes, 4 strikes, whatever you feel. Boom, boom, boom. Drive them down that center line, but keep that form tight. Now we're going to start working into the pocket. Back to stance. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Back to stance. Step into the pocket and go into that close guard. Going to keep the hands by the sides of the heads to protect from hooks. Bring those elbows in and keep that guard nice and tight. Chin tucked. Now we're visualizing that we're right against that opponent. We're going to slip to the side, slip to the opposite side, and back out of the pocket. We're basically deflecting attacks here and we're keeping ourselves in a safe zone. Step into that pocket again, shell up, slip to the side, slip to the opposite side, and then back out of that pocket. Now we're going to start to get dangerous in that pocket. Step in and cover up, slip to the side, and now what I want you to do is as you rotate back, I want you to drop that fist on the opposite side, on the trail side, drop it, and as you rotate back, once it's in that center line, I want to drive it up that center line into an uppercut, right into the chin of that depression dummy. Visualizing that target. Woo, that's the end of round one. Catch your breath, drink some water. Shout out to Killer Miller. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you out there. We're working on some fundamentals. We're in a little bit of pocket drill, shadow boxing out here, mixing with visualization and breath work. And I appreciate your support, even if it's just for a moment to stop by. Appreciate that moment. And shout out to Annie Cabrera and to Slayer Ken and to Simon Amaze and to everybody tuning in and supporting the cause. Appreciate you all out there. Thank you so much. We've got 33 seconds before we pop into the next section. And make sure right now you're drinking water, staying hydrated, breathing in the nose, out the mouth, and pushing to your level, giving yourself a challenge each and every day. Keep that mental health the focus of our mission out here, and visualize that physical opponent in front of you, assigning it the name of the thing you want to work on. If it's depression or anxiety, make it an anxiety dummy or a depression dummy, and visualize really connecting and doing damage as we knock those lies out of that dummy's face. All right, back into stance. Here we go. Round two. Guard high. We're going to step in for the 1-2. Down that center line. Chin tuck, guard high. 1-2. 1-2. 1-2. 1-2. 1-2. Exhaling on those strikes. Inhaling through the nose. Exhaling out the mouth. 1-2. 1-2. 1-2. Remember to turn those fists over. Land on those large two knuckles. Chin tucked. Shoulder rolled. Right? 1-2. Now we're going to step into the pocket. Boom. Shelling up. We're in close range. We're going to slip from the opposite direction, and now we want to launch a counter uppercut. So as we roll back to center, what we want to do is just drop that lead hand at the last moment necessary. Drop that lead hand, and then we're going to send it up that center line. Boom. Into an uppercut into the face of that depression dummy. Bring it back to the head to defend. Slip the opposite side, and we're going to drill it again, dropping that hand as we roll back. As we roll back, drop that hand and drive it up that center line. Bring it back to defend. Slip the opposite punch. Now we're rolling back, drop that hand, drive it up that center line. As we're working in that pocket, it's a lot of hip movement, it's a lot of shoulder movement to keep our head off that line, but we don't want to lean over our center of balance. We want to keep those feet wide in a nice wide stance and rotating on the ball of each foot as you turn, so that you don't lose your balance and you can stay nice and composed, keep it nice and tight when you're in that close range position. So let's get back into stance. Pop up top, hit them with the 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. Now we're going to step into the pocket, right? Step in, visualizing making contact basically. Bring that head down, shield up tight, keeping that slip nice and tight. We're going to slip, 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 slip. Keep slipping those punches in that center pocket. Boom, boom. We're just rolling with those punches. The only thing they can really throw are some hooks here. We want to keep that elbow coming in just in case they go for an uppercut. Right? Slip, slip, slip. Bringing that elbow into the center line. Keeping the head covered. And working that rotation so that we can move with the punch. We want to take that impact out of the punch by rolling in the same direction that it's coming in. Boom. We're deflecting. We're deflecting. Now when we roll back, drop that hand. Drive it up the center. We're going to toss another uppercut here up the center. Boom. 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 When we're rolling through, we want to get that elbow in that center line and then drive up through the hip, finishing that rotation, sending that power up into the head of that depression dummy. At the same time, we're keeping it tight. We're keeping that guard high at all times, and we're rolling with those punches. Keep it tucked. Stay in the pocket. Slip, 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 and toss some uppercut. Uppercut, 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 uppercut. And that's the end of round two. Catch your breath, drink some water, check in on you. Make sure you're giving yourself a challenge. Remember, we can't grow in that comfort zone, so we got to give ourselves a challenge every day. It doesn't have to be too intense. We want to avoid those signs of overreaching like nauseousness, lightheadedness, dizziness, all of those things. We want to dial back that intensity, but we don't want to take it too easy because we'll fall into boredom. So we got to find that right zone, right in the middle. It's known as the flow zone, where we can make all this progress, have fun, keep our routine creative so that it doesn't become routine, and continue to grow forward each and every day. We got 23 seconds before the final round. We're going to put those things we learned together, moving in and out of that pocket with the jab and cross, stepping into it, working those slips, and tossing some uppercuts in there for good measure. Remember, if you're on that long bag, swap those uppercuts with body shots. Out of the slip, work the body, sending those fists forwards instead of up so you don't skin those knuckles. Back to stance. Let's put everything together and flow with it. Step into the 1-2. 1-2. 1-2. Now I want you to step in for the 1 and slip right in to the pocket, right? Let that rear foot come forwards and step right into the pocket. Step into the 1, right into the pocket. We're nice and tight here. And start slipping those punches. Slip the punch, keep the guard tight. Keep those elbows coming in the center line, right? Chin is tucked. We're staying in the center of our balance here, rotating, rotate, 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 rotate. And now we're going to toss some uppercuts. Uppercut, boom, uppercut, boom, uppercut, boom, uppercut, boom, uppercut. Now ideally, you want to lock that elbow in 90 degrees, keep it nice and tight, wrist straight, drive it up that center line. But we don't want to drop it back here. That's going to be a tell. It's going to leave us open to attack. So we want to kind of drop it, boom, at the last possible second. Just to get that angle right. Just to pop it in there and catch him right in the chin. Back to stance. Stand up tall. Hit him with the 1-2. 1-2. 1-2. Keep those fists turning over on the 1-2. Send them straight down the line. Chin tucked. Everything on the center line. Visualize that opponent. Let's go. Now we're going to step into the pocket. Boom. We're shelled up. Deflect some shots. Slip. 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 We're rolling with the punches. And now we're going to fire back. Uppercut. 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 Keep going. Twisting through the hip. And firing that fist right up the center line. Turning those knuckles, right? Turn that palm in. Whoosh. 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 Exhale on each strike. Make sure you're twisting from the ground up. Firing from the hip. Whoosh. 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 And visualize that target. Visualize making contact with the bottom of that chin with the large 2 knuckles. Keep going. Let's go. Whoosh. 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 Back to stance. Hit him with the 1-2. 1-2. 1-2. 1-2. Step into the pocket. Boom. Shelled up. Slip. 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 Keep those slips going. Keep moving back and forth. Get used to that body movement. Each one feeds the next move. Set up for an uppercut. When you're loaded, toss it in there. Boom. And then toss the other. Boom. Let's go. Exercise work to your level. Give yourself a challenge. Let's go. Back to stance. Hit him with the 1-2. 1-2. 1-2. Step into the pocket. Roll with those punches. Let's go. Roll, 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 roll. Fire some uppercuts. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. Back to stance. 1-2. 1-2. Step into the pocket. Roll, roll, roll. Uppercut, uppercut. And that's the end of round 3. Congratulations if you made it through all 9 minutes and you're keeping track of your daily progress. Then that's 9 minutes that can change the rest of your life. If you only made it through 1 minute, that is 1 minute that can change the rest of your life. All you have to do is keep track of that progress. Keep track of the number of days that you move forwards. Every single step forwards counts, even if it is only 1 minute. If you think about the world as a toxic environment, or if you are in a toxic environment, you think about it like you're inside of a house that's on fire. That one step could be the one step out the door that saves your life. And the more steps you keep taking, the further away you get from that environment, the safer you will feel. I can tell you from personal experience, that's how I've been feeling about moving forwards with my progress. It's been 789 days since I've had any thoughts of suicidal ideation. It's been 789 days since I've been debilitated by depression. So 0 days debilitated, 0 days of suicidal ideation. And it just grows more and more into proof of our strength, of our resiliency, and what we can accomplish out here when we keep track of that daily goal accomplishment, especially if you're fighting forwards in the face of anything that's trying to convince you otherwise. Shout out to Tanea for popping in there, and Bong Bong had to pull back, got a little lightheaded. There you go. See, that's what I'm talking about. Mad with Hats. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for moderating to your level. That's what it's all about. We got to listen to our bodies, listen to what they're telling us so that we don't overwork. Overreaching can lead to more anxiety and more depression. So it's a delicate balance. We got to go for that balance and then keep moving forwards, right? Challenge yourself, but not too much and not too little where you fall into boredom. Find that flow zone. Also, shout out to Tanea. Thank you for supporting. Shout out to Slayer Ken for sharing your days at 397. And until next time, I will catch all you guys and girls same sack time, same sack channel, same sack life. Sack man out. Whew.